Attention. Go.
There we go, both crews off nice and cleanly. Eddie and Greaves on the left-hand side, Foster and Wilson on the right.
Fantastic opportunity for Harriet Wilson and Jess Foster, 19 and 20, and they won a Bucks silver lightweight medal in the women's quads, and they're trying, giving it a go in a double here and doing a great job. They need to steer a little bit back, and they're going to get warned in a moment, and they are taking on the incredible experience of Katie Greaves and Jess Eddy, who have each been to 3 Olympic Games and have won a number of medals along the way.
Yeah, a bit of steering there off the island, but Greaves and Eddy, as you'd expect, doing a very good job in the first 200 metres, clearing them. You can see there the poise, the way they scale. They haven't done much time in this boat, but you can see all the years they've rowed together really makes a difference.
It's a lovely story, isn't it? They were first in a pair in the under-23s in 2003, where they won a bronze medal, and since then they've gone on to 3 Olympics. They've won 2 world champion bronze medals, and then were part of the women's 8 that won a silver in Rio. That's a lot of time together. I mean, it also shows the wonderful sort of spirit and friendship that keeps us racing, that keeps us involved in this sport. And so lovely, they wanted to get out and race. They were actually due to do Henley Women's Regatta, but got pinged and couldn't. So they're delighted to be here.
Yeah, here Foster and Wilson, young girls who raced the Bucks, like you said, got a silver medal in the lightweight quad. Great opportunity for them here, and they're sculling nicely along here. Bit of steering issues coming down there. You can see the blades from Essie and some Eddie and Greaves on the left there.
And they're at the beginning of their careers. They're learning about racing on Henley water. They've been at trials. They've been going through. Harriet Wilson was going through the GB Junior trials before things came to a halt earlier this year, and so racing at Henley is just a massive achievement after such a challenging year, recovering from COVID. She had a broken elbow, and it's the last chance for them to race before they go to university. So really lovely that they battled through, that people have wanted to get out here and racing again as soon as there's been an opportunity, and they will want to give their best and to show that they have come through their own adversity just to be here.
Yeah, they're both members of Hinckley Sculling School. That's a great club down there in Oxford, down on the Radley stretch, where they scour all the local schools. And it's quite a deprived area in some of the places, and they're really putting forward a good project to try and get more and more people into rowing, and Radley School are really supporting them with that in terms of coaching and equipment.
Absolutely, we've been having great sort of conversations through Love Rowing, the new British Rowing Charitable Foundation, where we're looking to support clubs that are reaching out, and spoken to Hinksey and spoken to Radley, and really encouraging them to do that work with state schools that haven't yet been able to access rowing, so they have the benefits that come from this, and the joy, the transformational experiences that mean that we see Jess Eddy and Katie Greaves wanting to continue racing well into their 30s.
Yeah, it's a great story, because Jess is a twin, and they both learned to row at Durham Rowing Club, and they both went to UL, as did Katie. And Jess's sister, only a few months ago, she won the Premiership rugby title for Harlequins.
Yeah, very accomplished rugby player, absolutely. Yeah. No, brilliant sporting pedigree there, and Jess is in great shape. She, earlier this year, been training hard in the ergo, like so many of us through lockdown, particularly these students and rowers here, and she broke the British record for 1 hour on the rowing machine and the half marathon. So she is in incredible shape, and in case any of you watching like to have a go on the Concept 2 machine, she can average 1:55.1 for an hour, and for the half marathon distance 1:56.5, which is incredible, and that's around a full-time job. She now works at the V&A as a curator, but that rowing bug, it doesn't go away, does it?
No, and they're just both great friends. They've done so much together. It was going to be fun to do Henley Women's, and like you said, one of her friends got pinged, so they couldn't race, so they just said, well, let's do another few more weeks, go to Henley Royal, and here they are.
Brilliant.
Hinksy's still here, battling away, trying to keep in touch. It's tough, isn't it, you're probably really excited to race these two, but then it's also hard when you're down that quickly.
It is. You have to have your own race plan, don't you, at that point? And I hope that I'm sure their coach will have given them their plan. This is where you push. This is how you get the most out of yourselves. It's not over till it's over, and you have to get in your own bubble. And they look focused. They look like they're now actually a bit more relaxed than they were off the start. They're digging in, trying to keep their length, trying to row together. But supreme there, Jess and Katie Greaves. Katie's daughter turned 1 just a couple of days ago. So, I love that about rowing, myself as well. life moves on, but actually rowing is always there, and you always want to be part of the community in some way.
Yeah, and the friendships become more important. When you compete, the winning's important, but afterwards, actually, those relationships you built in those crews stay important in your life.
Absolutely, yeah. Rowing really sculling well. They haven't had a lot of time in the water. They came to the qualifiers on Saturday at Dorney. They actually didn't need to qualify in the end because of a couple of boats dropped out, but they still paced it pretty pacily down the course to get some more time in to make sure they could really be ready for this week, and they're up for it. They're hugely up for it, and they're looking good. Yeah. Good length there. Katie's the one that controls it all. She gives the calls. She tells Jess to sit up if she's, when she's getting tired. She kind of really keeps them on it, and they've got that brilliant communication.
Yeah. So both of them ex-graduates from University of London Boat Club as well, and after they won in Rio Boat Club, we had a row pass with 3/8, and they were in the women's 8, which had all the women's Olympians, and 4 of which, the UL girls, were in the Rio 8.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's so great, isn't it? And such a strong sort of alumni network for UL and so many universities and clubs, because they're important to inspire the next generation. And part of Jess breaking records was part of fundraising for Love Rowing, this charity that's raising money to help support projects to bring more state schools and communities into the rowing world, to give them access to it and to increase adaptive programs. And so Jess is a real ambassador. She's an ambassador for Fulham Reach Boat Club as well, a club in London that are doing great work in terms of bringing state schools from around London and lots of others, different parts of underprivileged communities, to give them access to the mental and physical health benefits of getting on the water.
And one of the things people don't really realise, you see an event like this and it looks quite posh, but actually for juniors to come and join a rowing club, it's not expensive. It's really accessible, and you get lots of coaching for no cost at all.
Absolutely.
It's really accessible.
Many clubs are really pushing now to become more inclusive, to reach out to other parts of the community and to make sure that there are no barriers, and that's something that British Rowing are looking at, Love Rowing is looking at, Henley Royal Stewards Charitable Trust, again funding, using their funds to support programs that enable more people to come into the sport.
And here we are just coming down into the enclosures. Eddie and Greves rowing for London Rowing Club, and what's the other one? So making quite easy work of this, coming down the enclosures. Actually moved to the middle of the course to avoid the boys' booms.
So experienced, really enjoying this.
Still very quiet though, isn't it, in the stewards? Not many people in yet this morning to watch the racing.
Trickling in all the time, I think, especially as the weather brightens a little. Great shot there of Harriet and Jess giving it their all. They should be really proud for battling through all of the challenges that they've had, and they're just so happy to be back. They both have struggled with COVID. They've both gone through a lot to get here, so brilliant to see them getting out on the water. And I know they're hoping to go on row at unis. Probably won't be together now, but brilliant to see them come here and take it to the oldies. Make sure that Jess and Katie had to really bring their best as well.
And they're sculling well as well, the crew from Hinksey. Really good fundamentals. And here we are coming to the progress board, the crowd applauding as Greves and Eddie from London Rowing Club and Wallingford Rowing Club come down to the finish.
Also support for Jess. She's such a well-known character. She's got so many allegiances across the sport. She supports voluntarily in so many different capacities. So there'll be a huge amount of support for her as they go through this regatta. For both of them, they're wonderful Olympians, and they do a lot. They're a great advert for our sport.
And they're crossing the line. Greaves and Eddie from London Rowing Club and Wallingford winning the heat of the Stonor Challenge Cup. And here finishing off their race, Foster and Wilson from Hinksey Sculling School as they come to the finish line. Really great effort, and actually really good sculling for those two young ladies. So there's a picture of Greaves and Eddie cheering on Foster and Wilson.